right hand from Floyd Mayweather.
There are countless stories in boxing about fighters with amazing skills, iron wills, and flashy moves. But only one fighter could knock out his opponents while dancing in the ring. That man? Emanuel Augustus, better known as the Drunken Master. He didn't just fight his opponents. He bamboozled them, confused them, and entertained the crowds like no one else. His chaotic, unpredictable style was as mesmerizing as it was effective. Today, we're diving into the story of one of the most entertaining boxers in history, a man who danced his way through the chaos, knocking them out one by one. The beginning of a unique career. Emanuel Augustus was born on January 2, 1975, in Chicago, Illinois, but grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Like many great fighters, Emanuel's journey into the boxing world began in tough circumstances. He didn't have a privileged upbringing, and for Augustus, boxing was more than just a sport, it was a way out. He started as an amateur, showcasing impressive skills early on, but what separated him from the rest wasn't just talent, it was his mindset. Even from a young age, Emanuel Augustus approached boxing differently from his peers. He wanted to entertain as much as he wanted to win. Augustus wasn't like other boxers who adhered strictly to conventional techniques. He was more interested in finding his rhythm, literally and figuratively, turning boxing into a dance. His journey from the streets of Baton Rouge to the world of professional boxing began in 1994 when he stepped into the ring for his first pro fight. The origins of the Drunken Master style. As Emanuel Augustus transitioned from amateur to professional, he started developing the style that would make him a cult icon in the world of boxing. This style wasn't something that came out of a textbook. It was something you had to see to believe. His footwork looked chaotic, his head movement unpredictable, and his punches came from bizarre angles. He'd lower his hands, swing his body from side to side, and move as if he were drunk. This unorthodox approach earned him the nickname the Drunken Master, and it became the signature. Augustus' movements weren't just for show, though. His Drunken Master style was deeply strategic. By constantly switching rhythms, Augustus threw off his opponent's timing. They couldn't predict his next move, and when they thought they had him figured out, he'd unleash a crisp punch that would leave them dazed. To the untrained eye, it looked like chaos. But to those who understood boxing, it was pure genius. He turned the ring into his personal stage, and every fight was a performance. Record that doesn't tell the whole story. One look at Emanuel Augustus' record and you might think he was a journeyman, someone who just couldn't quite cut it at the highest levels of boxing. With a career record of 38 wins, 34 losses, and 6 draws, it's easy to overlook him if you're only counting wins and losses. But Augustus' record doesn't tell the full story. Far from being just another fighter, Augustus was often pitted against the best, sometimes on short notice, often under less than ideal circumstances. Yet, despite the losses, he never failed to entertain, and he fought with the heart of a champion every single time he stepped into the ring. In fact, many of his losses came in fights where he was a late replacement or faced against top-tier competition. Augustus wasn't just a stepping stone. He was the kind of fighter who could have set anyone on any given night, and he often gave future champions their toughest fights. Fighters didn't know what to expect when they faced him, and that uncertainty made him one of the most dangerous opponents in the sport. Fighting legends. Floyd Mayweather's toughest battle. One of Augustus' most famous bouts came in 2000 when he squared off against an undefeated Floyd Mayweather Jr. at the time. Mayweather was already being hailed as one of the greatest talents in boxing, with a perfect record and unmatched technical skills. But even Floyd Mayweather struggled to deal with Emanuel Augustus. In fact, after their fight, Mayweather himself called Augustus his toughest opponent. Despite losing the fight by technical knockout, Augustus gave Mayweather everything he could handle. He used his Drunken Master style to frustrate Mayweather, flipping punches, dancing around the ring, and landing shots from angles that Floyd hadn't seen before. Mayweather would go on to have one of the greatest careers in boxing history, but he never forgot how tough that fight with Augustus was. Fans' favorite, boxing's ultimate entertainer. What endeared Emanuel Augustus to boxing fans wasn't just his style or his ability to frustrate even the best in the sport. It was his personality. Fans loved him because he was always himself, an entertainer through and through. He didn't just come to fight, he came to put on a show. Whether he was winning or losing, you could count on Augustus to make the crowd laugh, cheer, and stay on the edge of their seats. In a sport where so many fighters take themselves too seriously, Augustus was a breath of fresh air. He loved boxing, and he made sure everyone watching could feel that love. And while he never held a world title, he earned something even more valuable in the eyes of many fans: respect. He was a fighter who embodied the essence of boxing, showing that sometimes it's not just about winning titles, it's about leaving a lasting impact. The roadblocks, unfortunate circumstances, and controlled decisions. Despite his undeniable skill and entertainment value, Augustus' career was plagued by bad luck and controversial decisions. Many of his losses came in fights where it seemed the judges simply didn't appreciate his unorthodox style. Time and again, Augustus would outbox his opponent in the eyes of the fans, only to lose on the scorecards. This led many to believe that Augustus never got the recognition he truly deserved. In some cases, Augustus even took fights on short notice, often without the proper preparation. But regardless of the circumstances, he never backed down from a challenge. He fought anyone, anywhere, and gave it everything he had. These roadblocks may have prevented him from reaching the pinnacle of the sport, but they never stopped him from putting on a show. Life outside the ring, struggles, and tragedy. Unfortunately, life outside the ring wasn't always kind to Emanuel Augustus. In 2014, tragedy struck when Augustus was shot in the head in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The incident left him fighting for his life in critical condition. The boxing community rallied around him, praying for his recovery. Miraculously, Augustus survived. But the incident was a stark reminder of the harsh realities that many fighters face outside the ring. Though the tragedy left a lasting impact on Augustus and his loved ones, he has continued to show the same resilience he displayed in the ring, proving once again that he is a fighter in every sense of the word. OMG-TV, the Drunken Master, Lives LN. Despite never winning a world title, Emanuel Augustus left a lasting legacy in the world of boxing. His Drunken Master style has influenced a new generation of fighters, showing that there's more to boxing than just the basics. His ability to entertain while competing at the highest level has made him a cult hero among hardcore boxing fans, and his fights continue to be watched and admired by those who appreciate the art of boxing. Augustus may not have been the most successful boxer by traditional standards, but in the hearts of many, he'll always be remembered as one of the most entertaining and unique fighters to ever step into the ring. The Drunken Master's legacy will continue to live on, proving that sometimes the most chaotic style can create the most beautiful moments in the sport. OETRO. Chaos, unpredictability, and entertainment. That's the legacy of Emanuel, the Drunken Master Augustus. He danced his way through the ring, baffled his opponents, and knocked them out while keeping the crowd on their feet. The chaos he created wasn't just for show. It was a reminder that boxing, at its core, is as much about art as it is about brutality. Emanuel Augustus will forever be known as one of boxing's true originals, a fighter who brought the dance to the fight and made chaos his greatest weapon.